I think that the first singles, obviously, the first lead track we took was The Road to Damascus Street. And again, that was a lyric that Sam handed me about a friend of his. Damascus Street's in an area of Belfast called the Holy Lands. It's called that because you've got Jerusalem Street, Palestine Street, and Damascus Street, so hence the Holy Lands. It's been redeveloped over the years, but back in the day it was a fairly rough area. Not a lot of prospect, and it was about a kid that Sam knew that was getting into trouble, and obviously the paramilitias were calling and asking him to join up, and he was kind of running the gauntlet between them and wanted to get out of there, so he joined the French Foreign Legion and really didn't find any kind of peace in that. As you can imagine, was all fighting in foreign lands and all the carnage and turmoil that came with that. And then tried to come back to Belfast and realised that he couldn't even settle in Belfast, and it was a whole thing about a lost soul, basically, you know. So it was like just trying to find his way back home. And he made this journey, and he'd sort of tried to find himself in another country, or thought joining the Foreign Legion would be the answer. And I guess it wasn't, you know. And that was again, it was a great lyric, and it was a good song. And again, musically, probably 10 minutes, I had the riff straight away. I knew that I could hear the melody in my head as soon as I saw the lyrics. I wrote it on acoustic guitar, and it sounded great on acoustic, so I knew that when I plugged the electric in, it was going to sound even better. And it's Robert Crane from Black Star Riders plays bass on it, and it goes into this kind of Who breakdown in the middle, and he plays some great bass guitar in a sort of style of John Entwistle, which you know, folks will hear when they hear the track. So it was a lot of fun to record, and it was great having Robert play on it, so it was cool. I guess the next track I think you guys are going to release will be Celebrating Sinking, which I wrote with a dear friend of mine, Andy Cairns, that plays in the band Therapy. And Andy and I have been trying to work together, write a song together for ages, but we usually just end up getting drunk and being silly. So we finally got it together. Well, you know, the way you get it together these days, he sent me this idea he'd recorded on his iPhone, and I hope he doesn't mind me saying it was really rough. And he did say it was really rough. It was just this sort of celebrating sinking with this sort of melody going on, but it was really good. And Andy writes really catchy melodies, and that, you know, stood out straight away. So I think I just transposed the song. I changed the key of it. I wrote the music for the verses, and I wrote the lyrics for the verses. And we talked about writing a song that people from Northern Ireland have this thing of celebrating things that don't really work, like the Titanic, like George Best, like Alex Higgins. They're all flawed geniuses, and it's a trait in Northern Ireland as well that it's almost, if you're successful, you're almost embarrassed to be successful if you're from Northern Ireland, because it's like, you know, you come back home, they have a great way of people there of keeping your feet on the ground. You know, you don't have any airs and graces. I think secretly they're very proud of you, but they'll never tell you that to your face. And you know, I think it's just taking that on board, and then it's picturing the guy in the pub on the Saturday night going, well, you know, I could have done this, and I could have done that, and I could have went there, and I could have seen this, but I couldn't get my arse off this bar stool. But I'm going to lecture you about where you went wrong and what you did and the mistakes you made, even though you're the one that's gone and done all this. I know better, you know. Fortunately, you meet people like that in all kinds of situations, and I guess that inspired the title of Celebrating Sinking. And that's one of my favourite songs. I think it sounds great.
So here I am drinking, I'm celebrating sinking.